All right, welcome everyone to How to Kick Zillow's app. We are here at Keller Williams downtown today teaching this class in person, and we have a bunch of people on Zoom. If you're joining us on YouTube, I hope that you get a lot of value out of this class and see what we have to offer with the Keller Williams consumer app. Y'all, this is the secret weapon of what you have in KW technology. It's underutilized, and if you are utilizing it, you're going to see gains from being able to use this tool. And we're going to show you all the things you need to know, including how this app works. Because really, the main thing is you need to be comfortable with the app. You need to know how it works so you can show your clients how it works and show it your favorite features. And you're going to learn all kinds of stuff about the app. That's why you need your phone out. That's why you need your computer out, because both of these tools will help you be able to engage your audience with the Keller Williams app. And we have Brian Smith here today as well. Bring him on camera, owner of Keller Williams Downtown and Keller Williams Advantage, former regional director of Keller Williams, former real estate agent. Did you ever make it to MREA status as an agent?
I did not. But I would have if I had this mobile app.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? All right, we got one more person that we are admitting. Wonderful. So we are going to get started, and we'll start first by just giving you a little information about what we're going to get into today. The first thing you need to know about the app is how to share it with people, and specifically yourself. Because downloading the app from the App Store is going to share Keller Williams' app, not yours. Because every one of you has a personalized version of the app that specifically connects to your command to make sure that all of the tracking data goes back to you and not to Gary Keller. Because I don't know what Gary does with that data if they download it from the store. But if you share your app link that is unique to you, all of that tracking data comes back to you. Because that's the first step you need to know. We're going to jump into the app together, and you're going to see Brian share some of his favorite parts of the app and how to utilize some of its features. And then we'll get into the tracking piece of it. You're going to see where all of this information can be available for you to be able to see and utilize the data that's coming in from the people utilizing your app. And then we'll open up for questions at the end to see if there's any questions you have about the app, distributing it, sharing it. Any of those questions will be open at the end, and we'll wrap it up there. Brian, anything to add before we get started?
Yeah, let's talk about why this is important first, okay? 90% of consumers right now are actually using their phones to search for houses. They're not using their laptops. They're not using desktops. Does anybody have a desktop anymore? They're not using that. They're using mobile apps. So here's the thing. You have the choice. You can have them either use yours, or you can have them use one of your competitors. Now let's talk about Zillow. So I just looked this up. Zillow, how many unique searches do you think Zillow has consumers do on an annual basis? Look at this number.
How many annual searches?
Yeah.
1 billion.
A billion?
They sell 30 million leads, so
6 billion?
I'll go 7 billion.
7?
$1.
$1. Okay. It's actually 250 billion. Okay. They have 292 million unique visitors. Now, what happens when somebody goes on to Zillow and does a search? What do you think happens to that contact information of that person?
It's saved in the database.
And what do they do with it after they save it in the database? They sell it to dozens of agents, right? Okay.
Did you say 250 billion?
Billion. That's what it says right here. It must be true because it's on the internet. Okay. Now, here's the thing. So your customer goes to Zillow. They start using Zillow's mobile app to look for homes. They're trying to get in between you and your customer, your client, because they make money by selling that person's info to agents. Some of you in here buy Zillow leads, but they do that so they can actually sell the data. And hopefully an agent will connect with that person and then steal that customer or client from you guys. Now, what is one of the other ones that people would use? What's the number 2 one you think people are using? Redfin. Okay. So Redfin is the second one. Now, this is interesting. Can I plug this in?
You want to display? Yeah.
This is really interesting. So what's Redfin's deal? What are they saying to the consumer right now?
That we're a real estate company. I'm hiding, but they're actually acting as a platform, but they're really a real estate company, kind of Trojan horse in my opinion.
Okay. But really what they're doing is they're saying, hey, why don't you go work with a Redfin agent and we'll do what? we'll save you money.
Yeah, discount.
Discount. They'll say, work with us and we'll only charge you X% instead of what these other guys are charging you. What's really interesting is that up on the screen, sharing. Look at this. When you open up their mobile app, when somebody downloads their mobile app, what do you guys see here?
Horse register login.
Yeah. See, the funny thing about it is if you actually scroll down, there's a skip function. But you would have to know to scroll down there. Most people are just going to hit continue with Apple or continue with Google, continue with Facebook, or they'll put their email in. So they're actually kind of tricking the consumer into registering to use their mobile app. Okay. Now, let's pull up Keller Williams one. What do you got? Anything special?
Can you like?
You don't have to register.
By the way, that's not Keller Williams app. That's Zillow.
Got him.
You guys didn't even notice that it wasn't even Keller Williams app because they all look the same. They all do the same. And consumers really all they're using for function of these mobile apps for the most part is to search for houses. And all the mobile apps search for houses. They almost look identical. When we pull Stevens up here shortly, you will see even the little, like the circles there with the price in there are the same color. You guys, if they all do the same, they all function the same, why wouldn't you want to have the one that is connected to you personally so you could see your clients and what they're doing and what they're searching for, and then communicating directly with you instead of communicating with somebody on Zillow? Every time somebody hits saved homes, it says you have to register to save a home. If they register, then that customer's information is captured and then given to dozens of agents. Okay. All right. That's my intro. So the whole goal of this is to get you guys comfortable with having the ability to share your personal app to people that you want to do business with and people that are in your database. And I'm going to give you a couple different ways that you could do that really effectively. Okay. All right.
All right. So like I mentioned, the first thing you need to know how to do is get to your app link that is unique to you. And there are there's 3 ways that you're going to do this. Number 1 is you can find it within command in the websites tab. And I'm going to show you how to get there. I will say that is probably the least often opportunity that I actually use. I normally am using my mobile phone applications to share that app, and I'm going to show you that as well. Those are the other 2 ways that we can share this. I'll give you a little tip on sharing that link or being able to save that link into your phone. So it makes it really easy to share as well. That's outside of the Keller Williams technology, but I'm sure all of you will benefit from this little learning. But real quick, how many Android users do I have in the room? If you're on Zoom and you use Android, put a yes in the chat. We got a couple of Android users in the room as well. Then I'm going to assume the rest of you are iPhone users and not using something else. Is that correct? Good. I'm an iPhone user as well, so I'm a lot more versed in that. I'm sorry for my Android users. I have a little bit for you, but I can't show you like I can show the iPhone users. But it does exist in your systems as well. It's just a little different track to get there. But let's start in KW Command, something everyone can follow along with me right now to be able to get this going and find your unique app link. Well, that's weird. That mail's opening up. All right, so I'm just going to get into my KW account, my command account, agent.kw.com. You see it loads up my page. And where you're going to go first here is you're going to go down to the websites tab. Websites is the last icon over on the left side of the screen that you see looks like a little box behind a box with a little circle in it. And inside there, you're just going to click on websites, and then you're going to click on settings right up here at the top. And just a half scroll down, you're going to see app URL settings to start. And right there is your personalized KW app. I say personalized because you're going to notice that the first part of the app link is the same as mine, but you're going to have a unique string of letters and characters after the KW that is identifying you as your personalized app. This is the link you want to share with everyone else. This ensures that when someone logs in, that they get added to your command. That's another key feature of when someone logs into your app or to your website, they will be created as a contact in command. And if they're already a contact in command, it just makes that connection for you. And it's all doing that through email.
What's that called? The button on the bottom?
Websites.
So if I'm looking on my iPad, I don't have those.
You're on command mobile. You'll want to go not to your mobile app. If you want to do this on your iPad, you're going to open up your browser and go to agent.kw.com, and then you'll be following along just like we are on the computer. Now, the app link is on here. You can copy easily from here, but this stays on the computer. And most often, I'm not sharing my link through the computer. I'm sharing it through my phone. And so now we're gonna jump into my phone, and I'm gonna show you my favorite places where I share my app through my phone. And the main place we're gonna start there is the Command mobile app. How many of you have the Command mobile app on your phone? Perfect. This is where I most often am grabbing the link from. So give me just a moment to switch my share over. Oh, we got somebody else in the waiting room. Heal, always on time, buddy. Hmm? Zoom's catching up to me. Sorry, y'all on Zoom and in the room here. So I'm in my phone, and I'm going to go to the Keller Williams app. The first question the Keller Williams command app. The first question I always get is about which one is the command app and which one is the consumer app. The easiest way to tell is on your phone, you're going to see it says command underneath it. Now, if that's tough for you, that's okay, because it visually will tell you differently as well. When I look at the command app, it has the red background with the white KW. When I look at the consumer app, which you can see down here at the very bottom right corner, it switches that around. White background, red KW, that's for consumers. Today's class is about the consumer app, but we are going to use the command app to get to our consumer app link. And it's very simple. Why I want you to have your password is because it's going to ask you to log into your command app when you open up this application, and it's the same login as you use to get into command. Once you get in there, you're going to be presented with the same screen that you see up on the screens here. This is all in my way. And all we're going to do is click on our name at the top of the screen. So I'm going to click on Stephen at the top. One more time. You'll see that drop down message come up. And which one are we going to click on? They make it easy for y'all. It's not difficult. As long as you can get to that first step of clicking on your name, we can click share my app. And that's going to open up a generic message where I can share this message that's pre-written and includes my app link. And you notice that it has all of those extra characters, and yours are going to be different because that's going to be specific to you. And the message above it does not matter. You can change that if you want to. You can adjust it. You do not want to change anything about the link. In fact, how many of you are following along with me right now and are on this same screen? Well, get caught up if you're not. If you didn't raise your hand, get to this screen because I want to show you a really nice trick to get there. Your Androids don't do it? Like at all?
We have to pick a copy first.
You have to pick it. There's no copy. There's no.
Yeah.
Do copy for me right now. Do copy for me right now, and we'll see if we can get y'all into this next step. Who uses text replacement on their iPhone or their personal dictionary? I know Justin uses text replacement. He's a master of it. You do too, Chance? I love it. This will change your life because this is so much bigger than just this application. So what I want you to do, all of you, except for my Android users, I want you just to highlight your app link, just like I've done so far. Just highlight just the link and hit copy.
Yeah.
If yours has the icon showing up, just press and it should give you the copy option. Short press, not a long press. Then, if you're on an iPhone again, easiest way to get into this next piece is to do a swipe down to get to your Spotlight search and type in the words text replacement. And you should see something, oh, it just left. See if we can get it back. Something like this that has the settings icon and says text replacement. For my Android users, you're going to look for personal dictionary in your settings. Like I said, I don't know how you get in there in the settings, but I can tell you that is the setting you're looking for Android phones, personal dictionary. We're going to click on text replacement. You see, this is a list where you can write a shortcut for your phone to print out a much longer message. And I have all kinds of stuff in here. You see some responses in here. One for this office. One of the key ones that I'll tell you you'll use every week is, how do you park at the office? How many times have you typed that message out to tell somebody how to park here? Save it as a text replacement as parking instructions, one word, put it all together so that you can just type the words parking instructions. Then your phone will pop up in that little section above your keyboard where you can just tap it and then it prints out that phrase that you've saved. And what we're going to do today is we're going to hit that plus sign up at the top and we're going to add our app link as one of these shortcuts so that we don't have to type the whole link out. I like to save this shortcut as QWAP, K-W-A-P-P, one word. And all we do is hit the plus sign. The phrase is the longer thing you want to print out. So this is where you tap again and hit paste to drop your app link into the phrase. Then in the shortcut, that is the piece of shortcut you're going to type to be able to actually get this link to print out. And like I said, I like K-W-A-P-P, QWAP, one word, because you want to pick a shortcut that you're not going to type normally. Because otherwise, if you just put KW app with a space in there, you'll be typing that and it'll print out the link when you wanted to say KW app. So make it something you're not going to type normally. Like I never type QWAP like this unless I want this link to show up. So I put this in and then I hit save. And so now anytime I go into a message here, let's see if we can get into the messages, and I go into here and I type KWAPP, one word, you see how it shows up right there. So I don't even have to worry about going into the command mobile app, any of that. If I want to share this, I can just type in, hey, check out my app, KWAPP, puts the link in, and that is it. And you can do those shortcut, those quick text, those personal dictionary changes for so many things. I have responses to lead when I'm collecting leads or doing online leads and I'm getting responses. I have those responses already planned out. Response 1, response 2, renter response, buyer response. I have them already printed out. So all I do is just type in that shortcut and there goes my phrase. And by far the most often one that I use is my KW app link here, because I can easily just share it with people when I'm standing in front of them. A new buyer just signed their agency and I can just go, hey, I'm going to send you a quick text message and I want you to download this app because it's going to help you find your next home. And right there, they can get engaged. Right there, I can show them some of my favorite tools within the app that we're going to show y'all here in just a moment.
It's Steve.
Send it to me.
Send it to Yoda. Okay.
Stephen, a quick question. How did you get to the text replacement screen again?
There he is. And then I can send it right over to him. That's simple. Not too bad, huh? So what I need y'all to do now that you have your link, I want you to go open up your browser in your phone and paste that link into your browser URL. And then I want you to follow steps to download your app. Even if you have the app on your phone, I want you to follow these steps. Go through, put the app link in your browser, follow the download the app button that shows up on the screen, and then download the app. If it just opens it up, that's fine. Question.
So, I mean, it's like not that big a deal, but my link looks different from Nando's. Do you know why that is, or what the difference is?
So what it looks like to me is this link is the generic link. But I can't really tell from here. And your link looks like a personalized link. Generic as in the one that was at the top looked like it was sharing the KW app in general without the unique part on the end of it. So it's not branded to anyone.
No, that's what happened.
Okay, show me while you're doing that, while you're talking to him. Pull my phone up again. So I can show you guys what this looks like. Okay.
So you're now going to see what he got after I shared it with him. Oh, hold on. We got too many phones sharing across here. We're confusing Zoom. Share, cable, share. Here we go.
Okay. So I got the text message. See there? Okay, open it up. And that's what the consumer looks we'll see. That's what I see from his app. So I click on that. Okay. The first screen, get the app,
On my app, it says D is my agent.
click on the app, okay? You download. I mean, everybody's downloaded an app before, and then you open it up. Okay, now this is, this is speed.
Allow paste.
Okay. So this is important. This is an important part. When you're telling people, one of the important things is allow notifications. Because this is how they're going to get notified of new listings that come in the market when they're in a search. Okay, otherwise they could see it in their
They have to
email.
open it every
Yeah.
time or check their email to
Yeah.
get the
So
notification.
I'll tell you more about that. So, allow while using the app. That's what I always choose. And then sign up. Now they could skip. If they skip, it's still going to have him as the contact or you guys as the contact, but you want to have them sign up. Okay. I think it's an important part. So you can actually track and see what they're doing. So encourage them to sign up. So we're going to put in here Bob Jones. Bob Holmes. Okay.
I know, Bob.
We'll say Bob Holmes. Okay. And an email.
Now, this email address, especially when I'm working with clients that I already have their email address, I want to make sure that I'm using the same address or they're using the same address that I have saved for them. That's how Command links them together, is by checking the email address. So if you already have an email address for them, tell them to log in with that one. It makes things much easier because otherwise it will duplicate that contact. They got to set a password in there, of course. It is secured for them on that level so that all of their data is saved in there. And again, all this data only goes to you. The market center does not get any of this information. KW doesn't get any of this information. It only stays with you. This is one of the reasons we're trying to get your clients and people off of Zillow, because that information doesn't stay with Zillow. When you use your apps, everything is under your control. And that is a selling point for your consumers. You have savvy consumers who don't go onto these places or don't log into Zillow because they know the game. And you can tell them they can safely log in because you're the only one who chooses what information they get after they have signed in. If they don't get any emails or any communications after that, that's up to you. You can also send out automatic communications as soon as somebody signs into your app. This is something you have to set up and something that you can schedule a one-on-one with me to say, Stephen, I'd like to set up that automation so when people log into my app, they get automatically tagged and they get automatically put onto a smart plan for that follow-up communications from emails, text messages to reminders for you to call them and be able to engage with that person who just downloaded your app.
Okay, so they sign up, they get a notification email. Go into email here really quick. Okay. Copy that, copy, go back to the KW.
Look at all this security KW's put in, authorization emails for everybody. I know it's kind of a pain for y'all to deal with, but I promise you, you're happy when someone you don't want logging into this stuff tries to, and the authorizations stop them. So please bear with it. It is for your data security or cybersecurity that all of these changes has happened over the last 6 months.
Shoot, I got out of there. Okay, we'll keep going to the next thing and I'll get this all set up.
All right, we got to switch the share. Well, actually, let me just check where we're at here. This is the trouble of having two teachers. It's tough. Here we go. This is the link I'm looking for. So we showed you how to find your KW app link. We found it in the Command mobile app. That same link is the link you want to paste over everything. Social media posts, emails. That is where those links go because people aren't going to find this link on their own. They can't find it on their own. They can kind of find you on kw.com, find my agent, but it's a lot of steps instead of just giving them the direct link to your application, which I want to see in your email signatures. I want to see on your Facebook posts. I want to see on your Instagram profile. These are all great places. I just talked to an agent who has their link on their TikTok profile as their only link. And then it's their main lead generating form from TikTok, where they're getting about six leads a week from TikTok where people just sign in through the link on here. Oh, it's brilliant. And they're like, is this the best way? I'm like, oh yeah, this is the best way to do it. Let me show you how to +1 it and add some automation into it. Because that's when you start sharing your app, you're going to start seeing people log in. Because you'll get an email notification that says somebody has signed in. You'll get a notification in Command that says somebody has signed in. You'll get a notification in the Command mobile app that tells you that somebody has signed in. So you're going to be known that this person just signed in, and you get to decide what happens after that.
Okay, now
You ready?
Go back, yep.
Let's see. All right, you're back.
Okay, so Bob, there he is, signed up. This is what they see, just like every other mobile app. It's nothing special, neither any of the other ones. They all do the same thing. So I'm in here, and then you can basically search. Now, the key thing is if they allowed notifications that are not notifications, location information, then it's going to pull up. This right here is where we are right here, this little blue dot. Oh, look at that. I didn't even notice that. Look, the little arrow is like where my phone is pointing. That's crazy. I've never noticed that before.
And that was something that I think Brian accidentally just smashed the button. But when they download the app, one of the questions that they ask is, will you turn on location settings? When you're with your clients, tell them yes, turn it on. The most common use I see from the app from consumers is they see a house while they're driving and they're in front of it and they want to open up their app and see what it's worth. And if they turn on their location settings, it'll shoot them right to where they're at. But if they don't have those turned on, it's just going to default to the market center.
Yeah.
And then they have to scroll around and find where they're at. So tell them, turn on the location settings, allow notifications. Both of those questions will pop up. Tell them to allow both. It will give them the best experience that they expect.
So just like every other mobile app, okay, you see the listings that are on the page. Now you can also hit list, and it'll just give you a list of all these different properties.
Does everybody see where the list button is? It's my favorite button in Command or in the app, because I don't like scrolling on the map to find houses. But if I can get my search going, it's like, all right, I just want 3 bedrooms plus, 2 bathrooms plus in this area that my phone is open to. Then I hit the list button and I can scroll through the listings instead of clicking on every one on the map. So make sure they know where that list button is, because I see a lot of consumers missing. I see a lot of agents miss that down at the bottom of the screen there. So make sure this is what I go through when I'm training somebody on my app. Download it, sign in, yes to the locations, yes to the notifications. Then I come in and I show them how to search, and I
Okay.
show them the list.
All right, and then just like every other one, there's filters there at the top. You can put in price ranges, whatever you want, okay? We're gonna do that, and we're gonna say, we're only gonna look at houses between this price range. And then we're gonna show, and it shows all the properties, okay? Now, see that save button right here? So a consumer can go in and hit save. Okay, they can give it a name if they want. We'll call it test search. Okay, and hit save. Now, what do you think happened to that information now that I saved that?
Get notifications about it,
Okay, you get notifications, and what else? Who else got that information?
the agent.
So he just got a notification in Command that said that his
New sign in.
new sign in and a new save search. Okay. Now see this button right here, the little finger that looks like this backwards.
You're gonna have to get that on the Zoom screen for
Okay.
our Zoomers out there.
Okay. You hit that. You can draw. Let's say your person only wants to live in this little area right here. Okay. So they make whatever shape you want, and now it's only going to pull houses in that area or properties in that area. Okay. And they can also save that one. Okay. Okay. And so that's really useful for, let's say, for example, somebody lives like right in the middle of this area. If you guys can get them to save a search for their neighborhood, then anytime a house that comes up for sale in their neighborhood, it's going to ping their phone saying a new house for sale in your neighborhood. Okay, that's a really easy way to connect the people to this mobile app. Okay, some other things. Okay, there's Steven there, there's his information. Okay, now your consumer or your customers can share your mobile app with their friends or their spouses or whoever want directly from here. Okay. Let's see here.
Yeah, show them the homeowner stuff.
Okay, so see here where it says buy rent at the top? If you click on my home, then the person can put in their address. Okay. And it'll give them a value. And they can save that.
So you'll hit the home icon at the bottom of the screen, and then it'll open up and it'll say my home as one of the tabs. Well, if it already has your address in there, it saves it. So when you put in this, it's not just a one-time value. They can come back into the app and the value will update and save their address of what they're looking at for their home value, and it saves it in there. And also, you get that same information coming into your command when they add that address in. You get the address and you get the value, the window of value that they're given as well, so that you can respond to that. Best recommendation is make a call after that, saying, hey, I saw that you were curious about your home value. Why were you curious?
Yeah, now here's the thing. Now, somebody pointed out in the last class, they said, well, that's off. Well, how many times do you see that Zillow's off? This is estimate. It's always off. Like there's no
Purposefully
way
off.
It's purposely
They've
off.
admitted that they purposefully make the estimates off by a little bit to engage people. It's the same game that we can play. They're not doing that at KW. They're trying to get their best number, but this is an AI generated number. They're looking at public records. They are looking at previous sales that are posted to the public records. It is not as good as a job as all of you can do providing a consumer market analysis. That's why you make the phone call, so you can give them the real value. And it doesn't matter what this says, because we want to train people to look to you for this information, not technology. Because we know technology will never be able to give as accurate as a number as you can as an agent who has access to all data you have access to.
That's right. Okay, so, and then if I want to get in touch with Steven, I just hit get in touch, and a message was just sent to him. And so now he's going to get another notification that says, hey, so-and-so Bob House just reached out.
And so you can all see, it's just like those bar notifications you're used to getting on your phone. It pops up just like this for me. Sorry, at the end, Brian's locking me over here.
Sorry.
It's okay. I don't want to try and cross over. But then I can open up those. I get them all in my Command mobile app. I'll see them on command, but I always get them in here. This is where I'm normally checking them, right? Because I'm on my phone more often. And I see Brian Smith requested home valuation. Their reported range was 929 to 948. I can hit view contact, and then it shows me all of the information in the timeline on here and in command, including the address that he put in. Now, it doesn't set the address that he puts in, does not set that address as their primary address. Why do you think it doesn't do that?
This is multiple numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's not a guarantee that the address they put in is the address they live as.
Okay, now here's the thing. So this is what I'm going to tell you. Like, first of all, I should have had this out before.
You got to get them excited.
Yeah, so here we go, right here.
That's
See
right.
this right here?
Chris,
Crisp, $100 bill. Okay. Anybody that will go through this exercise is going to be in a drawing for this crisp $100 bill. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. Okay. You're going to basically go into your phone. I'll leave my phone up there for a second. Okay. Go into contacts, scroll to the bottom. It's amazing to me how many people like everybody has for contacts. I only have 498. I think I'm kind of a loser, but
I think we need to work on your database. But
yeah, really. Who has more than 498?
Dustin.
How many do you have?
Contacts?
Mhm.
All contacts?
Even find out. 5,000.
Scroll to the
5,563.
5,563. Does anybody have more than that? How many you have?
They're all recruiting 1,060.
1,064? Okay. So here's the thing. What I want you to do is I want you to send your mobile app right now to 10 people. And this is who I'd start with. Start with your best friend, your best family member, your easiest people that will receive this text message from you. Okay. And all you're going to do is you're going to text them and you're going to say, hey, I just got a new mobile app for my real estate business. I'm really excited. And then would you mind checking it out and let me know what you think? And then put your link in there. Okay. 10 people, just send it to 10 people right now by text. Okay. Hey, I just got my new mobile app for my real estate business. I'm really excited. Would you mind checking it out and let me know what you think? Send it to 10. If you send it to 10, you'll be in the drawing. And you could use like different language if you want. I mean, it's up to you. But the key thing is just to say, would you mind checking it out? Okay. Now remember, you could do that shortcut thing that Stephen taught you, where you could basically put mobile app introduction, or what would you call that? MB intro.
Yeah.
MB
App intro
So
or-
save it as your shortcut. And then you could easily text that to 10 people at a time every day. And if you have 1,000 people in your contacts, I mean, you could get through that in 100 days. If you had 1,000 people download your mobile app, you're easily going to get a bunch of people that say, hey, actually, I was thinking about buying a house, or hey, we have been thinking about selling a house.
Back to our question about how our texts look different. Can I make sure that I'm not sending them?
Let me come to you.
Okay, so send that 10 times.
Right, how do they do the $100?
If you send it 10 times, then you'll be in the drawing.
So I cheated and I sent it to two of my family group chats. They each played 22.
That's cool with me. That's a great idea. If you have group chats,
Family group chats.
okay. Interesting. Now, here's the other thing that we're going to do in here. Okay. We're going to have a contest in May that's going to be called, yo, check out my app. Okay. And what you can do is, if you want, you can get a picture like this taken, and we'll have the marketing department make you some marketing material to send out, or whatever picture you want to put. Basically, yo, check out my app. And whoever has the most downloads is going to win. Well, there'll be several prizes actually. They'll be announced probably next week is when we'll announce it. Okay. All right, you want to go back to let's go back to command really quick.
Yeah.
So keep texting that mobile app out.
So it's not specific to me, it's just.
Yeah, it's important that you're texting your personal mobile app, not just the generic thing everyone. And by the way, this also works on, like, the mobile app also works on tablets too. So they don't have to search on their phone. They can put it on their tablet. I think it's actually really nice on the tablet because I'm getting old and I have hard.
The map
hard time
is
seeing.
much easier to use on the bigger screen.
So if it's just texting the app and not specific to me, and I'm using the link from my app to send it, how do I fix that?
We will need.
Okay,
Okay.
here's what I'll come over there. I'll hold it.
It's still gonna go to your app, but you signed in basically on somebody else's consumer app. Is what happens, right?
Exactly. So when you,
Should I not be sending?
well, when you send that link to other people, if they haven't gone in and done this with another agent, they're not gonna have this experience that Justin's having. He's having this experience because he's signed in or gone into another agent's app and signed up, and that's why it's automatically defaulting to that, which is good for when you're the first agent to get into there, for them to download the app from. Because it tries to keep you as their agent no matter what.
Yeah, I think if they're signed in, if somebody else already has their mobile app on their website, then it's probably not gonna read yours, okay?
So you don't have, you are just in the generalized, so this is fine. That tells me that. It's not, did you say that from? So you come in here.
How are you guys gonna monitor how many apps do download?
So that's probably a good thing I put there. Share it from there. And then just, you can share from your iPad too. Thank you now.
Okay, anybody get any messages back? Yeah.
Another question, Mark.
So we did.
Here's the thing, here's the thing, so when we did this at the West office, we got a bunch of different responses, like one of them was, is this a scam? Okay, so how do you respond to that? I was like, just put in LOL, no, this is really me. You know,
If this happened in your experience, you stumble upon a property and want to check out its value.
yeah, it's really me, it's not a scam. You know, there's other people that put in there, there was another response that we got, is somebody responded and said, this looks just like Zillow. Now, the way that we had them respond to that one was we said, actually, it's better because Zillow will share your information, all your contact information with dozens and dozens of agents. But this is just between you and I. Nobody else will know.
I was sure.
Okay. All right.
Are we
Yeah.
still texting folks right now? I see a lot of busy thumbs right now, so keep texting them. I know you all want to enter to win that $100. That's straight out of my pocket. I gave that to Brian earlier.
That's right. Okay, pull up command and is that what's next? Pull up command and let's see what the notifications look like. By the way,
So we're not seeing all notifications you would have seen because Brian signed into my app last week. So I'm not getting when he signed in again, I'm not getting that same notification because I've already gotten the original one. But Brian did put in the information here about his home, which is why you see I did get that new notification to be able to see that Brian has requested that range. And I'm going to hit view contact here from the notification menu so that you can see where all this information lives. And it's always going to be in the timeline of the contact. So when you want to know what people are doing on the app after they sign in, you're going to look to this timeline where I can see the home valuation. I can see he requested an in-person tour. This was all in the last class. His home valuation that he just requested today. I get all of that information stored in their timeline, so I always have access to that data. And any home that he even opens up, he doesn't have to hard it. He just has to open up a listing, and I will get a record of the listing he opened up on here. Every one of them. And I'll even have a link so I can click on that link and see the listing he's looking at as well.
now also, if somebody is like using the app, where does that show up?
And this is one of my favorite buttons. And I want to make sure I got everybody's attention for this one, because this is the key to make your life easier. Is when you log into command, it's going to put you on this home screen, and take a moment from texting your people so you can see where this button is, because it's easy to miss. It just looks like part of the system. But right up here at the very top of the screen, it says recently active. This is going to pull up a list based on the most recently active contacts in your database. So when I click on this, guess who's going to be right at the very top of the list?
Right.
We got the homepage?
I'm at the homepage and I'm clicking on recently active. One of my other favorite things is that same button is on Command Mobile. You can do this on your phone and hit recently active on Command Mobile, and you can see Brian Smith is my most recent person. You'll also see that, you see that home valuation tag on Brian? That's automated. It doesn't happen automatically for you. If you want to set up that automation, you need to schedule a one-on-one with me, because I have it set up so when somebody does a home evaluation, they automatically get tagged with home evaluation. I have it automatically set up so that they get a smart plan that follows up with them or reminds me to follow up with them as soon as they log in, and I don't have to do anything else because the automation is set up. We're not going to show you that today, but if you want to learn how to do that, it's a 30-minute meeting. That's all we need. Schedule a 30-minute one-on-one, and we can get through that together.
So you go to this list and you say, I've got a bunch of people in my mobile app that have been looking at houses. I should maybe contact those people. Okay. Now, if they were using Zillow, would you have any idea?
No.
No idea. they were using Redfin, you'd have no idea. If they were using realtor.com, you'd have no idea. Homes.com, you'd have no idea. This literally tells you who the people are that are thinking about real estate. That's so important to this whole thing. Okay. Now, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to go into sharing. Do you have more on tracking?
Nope.
So I wanted to show you all a couple of additional plans. You may want to take a screenshot of this because I've put in the plan names for you that are in the Smart Plan library that are my favorite plans around the app. Number one is one from KW, Promote My App Smart Plan. This is an email and 2 text messages that are pre-built, have your link built in, and all you have to do is just turn it on for people that you want to get that email and the 2 text messages. For those text messages to go out, you do need to have Twilio. Otherwise, they will just become tasks for you to send yourself. So it's very dynamic. It can be either way. If you don't want to use Twilio, that's fine. Twilio makes things so much easier. Now, after that, I have 2 plans listed in number 2 here that are follow-up plans. You can find the agent site / app registration email where I am the author. And if you just put in that title into the library search, you will find my plan. That is a single email that goes out. That is what I set up as when someone signs in, it automatically drops them onto that smart plan and just gives them a thank you email. That's all it does. It says, thank you. Here's some bonus parts of the app. I show them a little bit about the walkability score and some of the other cool features of the app, and it automatically sends. Now, there's also this other one you can find, email heavy consumer site registration follow-up. This is one from my friend Nick Baldwin. If you know Nick, awesome guy. This is, I think, 7 different emails and text messages that automatically go out that you set up as that automation to go and send out these follow-ups that automatically go out for you after they download the app. These are 3 great plans to incorporate into your follow-up or into your promotion of your app. And I just want to show you one little feature where you can do this for yourself if you want to make a custom smart plan. So if I come into smart plans and hit create, and we're just going to call this app promotion, create plan. And I'm just going to do this in an email where if I want to drop in an email to this smart plan, it's going to have some cool headline, cool subject to get them to open it. But what I want to show you in here is what's called a merge tag. Who's familiar with a merge tag in smart plans? One of us. Nice. All right. We're going to have that's the next team meeting presentation. We're talking about merge tags. No, we're not. Because they're very simple and you're familiar with them. When you want to send a message that says, hi, Chancellor, and not just hi, I want to drop his name in based on his contact record, I use a merge tag. And I can merge in first name, contact, last name, contact email, all this information about myself. But at the very bottom, I have my KW app link where I can drop that merge tag into any email or text message that I'm building into a smart plan. And it automatically puts that same link in that we found earlier. It puts that in there for you. So you don't even have to worry about pasting it in or finding it anywhere. You can just use the merge tag in here when you're typing out your own email and writing all the rest of the copy in here. You have an easy access to adding in your KW app link in any text message, any email built into a smart plan. That's the little bonus content for y'all. Super simple ways to integrate this part or this tool into your follow-up. I talk a lot about follow-up recently, and it's all about value and what tools you have to offer. This tool, everyone is using something like this on their phone. Everyone. Most of them are on Zillow, Redfin, some other app. Get them on your app. Because even if they're not interested now, there's places for homeowners to get value in our app. Even if they're not interested now, when they start searching, you'll be the first to know instead of Zillow being the first to know and sending out that lead to 20 other agents. And you're crossing your fingers that your touch campaign was good enough to stop them from calling those agents and answering and engaging with them, right?
You know what would be really cool?
What would be cool,
What
Brian?
would be really cool is if you had a QR code.
It would be nice. Do you think KW might provide that QR code? They sure do. Let me show you all this. I'm going to go to my KW website. Go DiLisio.kw.com. Don't steal my name, but y'all are familiar with your websites. Let's go. What's going on here? Here we go. Here's my KW site. If you have not engaged with the KW site, be on the lookout. We're going to be teaching a full agent sites class over the summer this year. So engage here, but at the bottom of every page, you will find a QR code. That
No
QR code
No way.
is linked to my app link. It is the app link right there. You can even right click on that picture and save the image as. So you can save it to your computer and put it into a flyer that you're putting out for your open house. You can put it into the postcard that you're sending out to your database. You can utilize this QR code to bring people from the physical print world into the digital world as easy as just scanning this code. You have it available for you. It's on all of your websites automatically. It's already set up for you. It's easy access to this information for you to share.
Now, can you set up, and it'll go back to command? Into my contact info.
I'm getting there, Brian. There we go.
Okay, so pull me up.
Oh, we're going to go the easy way. Recently active. There he is.
Okay. Now, could you save a search for your people?
I can. You'll notice up here at the top of the screen, there's a saved searches tab. There's 3 searches already in there. I didn't make those searches. Where did they come from? Well, it gives me all the searches he's made. So if the consumer makes searches, you can see them in here. You can see what they've saved in their search. Oh, Brian's looking for homes between 350 and 1.25. And we can see all of those. Now you'll notice I can't delete or edit his searches. I can't change any of those. Those are only editable by him, but I get to view them. But you'll notice right above all of that, I can create my own safe search for Brian. And I want to do this so that you guys can see the different options you have.
Now, let me tell you why you would do this. Okay, this is the money maker. This is how you make like hundreds of thousands of dollars. You want to set everybody up in your database in 2 searches. The first one is where they live. And the second one is where is the dream neighborhood that you'd move to if a smoking deal came up, like the place that you've always wanted to live. Okay, now I will tell you that we have an agent that did this where they set up a whole bunch of clients on this dream search. And one day she got contacted and the person said, hey, can you show me this house that just came on the market? It was $4.1 million and it was under contract in 2 days. And in 21 days, it closed cash. $128,000 commission. Okay. Here's the thing, you guys, 9 times out of 10, people will be actually making a move because of a life change. But 1 time out of 10, it's just going to be a win. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, a house came up in the neighborhood that I love. Let's go take a look at it. Let's go check it out. And if you have 1,000 people in your contacts or your command that are on those 2 searches, I guarantee you guys are going to get some deals. So go ahead and show us how you do that search then.
Yes. So the first thing you need to know about this search is it's based on the area where you see this little drop down that says city by default. But most people in the Denver metro, they're not searching by city, right? They're usually searching by some type of Wadsworth to Hamden, I-25 to Kipling. And you can choose all these different options, but most often I'm choosing the custom option because when I choose custom, I get the option to draw on map. Where when I want to set up that search from 6 to Hamden to Kipling, I-25 to Kipling, I just click on the pen or the finger here, and then I just draw in my map. Well, maybe I can. I'm getting better at this, y'all. I'm trying. Oh, come on. Let me draw. It's not liking my drawing. Well, I'm going to not waste y'all's time and show you it normally works, but you know, technology likes to misbehave as soon as it's in front of 20, 30 people. Please.
This, you're going into creating this for your client. They haven't requested it, or they're not doing
Correct.
it. You're just doing this for them, like.
Well, here's what you do. You call them and you say this, or you text them, okay? For all of us young people like myself. Okay, what you do is you text them or you call them and you say, hey, listen, I hope you're enjoying the mobile app. I'm going to set you up on a search that's going to be for your neighborhood. So that way, you know, instantly when any house comes on the neighborhood, on the market in your neighborhood, you'll be the first to know and you can tell all your friends. Okay. And so they'll get notification. How often does the searches in the KW mobile app come up?
You get to choose.
Okay. Now, but they do search the MLS how often?
It will pull in MLS data every 30 minutes.
Okay. So it's not instantly like somebody said, well, you know, on Zillow, you get it instantly because Zillow searches every minute. Who freaking cares? 30 minutes is fine. If we can't wait 30 minutes to see a house that comes up, then you got problems, right? So that's the first phone call or text that you do. The second one then is, hey, I'm just curious, like, where's the neighborhood that you would love to move to someday if your like dream home like popped up and it was a smoking deal? And they say, Beaumar. Okay, great. I'm going to set you up on that search just in case. You know, I understand you're not in the market right now, and they're in the market right now, but I just want you to know what's available in the neighborhood. And then you go in there and you put it in as search, and then instantly they're going to get notifications. Now, one thing I will tell you is they can adjust how often they're notified. So like if they have multiple searches in there in big areas, they're going to be getting you're getting notifications on their phone all the time, which could be good or could be bad. In fact, when I did the last class over at West, I got 5 notifications from ESPN during the time that I was actually doing the class in an hour and a half. ESPN doesn't care. Okay. I can limit the amount of time or amount of notifications I get to, like, I think it's every hour,
I'm going to
every
show
day,
in just a moment.
whatever it is. And so, you know, that keep that in mind. They may want to limit the amount of notifications that they get. Okay. Oh, there you go. Instant.
So you like essentially like their equity analysis.
Can't believe you guys are leaving. You can win $100. You can't leave now, Chancellor.
Our parts are better.
You all can leave. Well, you think it's. Other searches that they're.
I don't think so. I don't think they can delete your searches. Yeah, they can change the frequency on your searches. So they can come in and say, if I set them up for instant, they can change it to one of the other options in their search. But you can see you have multiple options that will work for most situations to be able to engage them with this search. And I'll tell y'all, this is what I use. This is why I don't put myself on an MLS search, because one of the best features, the MLS ends at the Colorado borders. I can't search Raton, New Mexico. It's right on the other side of the border, but I can't see the listings in New Mexico. But when I'm in my KW app, I have a nationwide search. Even parts of Canada, parts of Mexico, parts of Europe, parts of Latin America, you can put searches together for them. So you're not limited like we are in the MLS. So if they're saying my dream home is the Keys in Florida, well, great. Let me set you up. I know some great agents out there. When you're ready, let me know. And I can see if they're actually looking at properties because they're in my app. Even though they're looking at properties in the south of Florida, I still have all that ability and access. That's a huge part of our app, is that we're not limited to what the MLS is that you're a part of. You get to be a part of every MLS that KW is a part of.
And by the way, if you're using MLS for your searches, first of all, it's garbage. The pictures are terrible. It sucks when you're on your mobile phone. Okay. It's just horrible. The other thing is they have to actually go into their email. This is just instant notification that pops up on their phone screen. It says new listing.
You saw like the bar notification that came up when I got my KW command. They get the same stuff from the KW app. They get bar notifications, price adjustment just made, new listing in whatever search it is. Cause I have like 4 searches going on. Tells me new listing in 800, I have 80010, the zip code I live in. I put myself on that search so I know what houses are coming up in my zip code. I put myself on the Raton, New Mexico search so I know what's going on in Raton. I put myself on a search for Parker because that's where I want to live next, my next home, right? That's what 3 questions I always ask. Where you live now, where you want to live next, where's the dream home? Those 3 questions, if they can get a search for all of that, and I'm always associated with their real estate dream, their next real estate purchase, if I'm always giving them that information, who are they going to call when it comes time for them to make that move?
That's right.
Me, every time. That's the power of this, that you got to think bigger than who's looking for houses now, because everyone likes to look at houses casually.
Like literally, you could be on vacation wherever you are and open up your mobile app and it reads where you are. Like, you're sitting on a beach and you're like, I wonder how much condos are here in this area. And you open it up and it's going to show you what's for sale in that area. Okay. Awesome.
I'll tell y'all, the command app is not just us, or excuse me, the consumer app is not just us up here saying how great it is. Over 60,000 reviews in the App Store. 4.8 overall rating from those reviews. And you can see up here, I'm not going to read them to you, but you can see up here the information that I've pulled together and what those reviews were saying. And they're all so positive. And a lot of the things are around the value that you have control of the data. They like the connection to you, that their data isn't being sent to strangers. It's being sent from a person that sent them the app that they got connected through. And this is a huge thing for you as well, to track with them, to be able to know when they need your help. And again, this is your edge. This is your competitive edge against Zillow, because people see that it does feel and look the same. That's on purpose. KW built it to be like that. So it seems like a seamless experience to just move over to your app instead of being sold on Zillow. Oh, we did lots of demos already. And we talked about the tracking. You'll get the notifications. It's always in the timeline. And remember where that recently active button is. It's always on your homepage at the top of the screen, whether you're in Command on your computer or the Command mobile app on your phone. You'll always have that recently active button where you can just click and see who's engaging. But it all starts with what Brian had you do earlier today. You got to get this app into people's hands. The likeliness of them downloading the app, searching for you as the agent, connecting with you and signing in on their own are slim. Will it happen? Maybe. But I don't build my business on luck. I build my business on systems. And this is part of the system that Brian is telling you to implement. 10 people a week, send the app to. Was it a week a day? 10 people a day. If you don't like prospecting on the phone and having to call people and make that time, how long did it take y'all to send 10 text messages with the app link in it? 10 minutes, maybe? You'll get faster. You'll start using the quick text and start using some of the tools and get faster. Just copy and paste it, drop it in. That's when you're going to start being surprised. When you start giving everybody the opportunity to be on the app, 6 months later, somebody shows up and you're recently active, looking at homes in a place where you're like, I didn't know you were looking at homes. I just called you a month ago and you weren't looking. But between that month, they just got a job offer and now they need to move. And so now they're looking at your phone's app. And now you can see that. Call them back and say, hey, saw you're looking at some properties. Tell me more. What's the plan? What's the timeline? This makes your job so much easier. You'll read in the MREA book, your job is not to convince people to move. It's to be there when they're ready to move.
That's right.
This helps you know when they're ready.
Now, how many of you, like when you're showing properties, have shared your mobile app to people when they're actually looking like at a house? Well, actually, let me back up. How many of you have been riding around with a client and they go, how much is that one? 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 Okay. If they're in the same block or whatever, all they have to do is pull up their mobile app, or when you're driving around, pull up your mobile app, and it actually will track where you're going so you can see what the houses are while you're driving around. And they can pull up any one that they want and they can heart it and they can say, oh, I like that one. How much is that? I'm going to heart it. And then you're notified and you can keep track of stuff. I was in a house one time and this is a while way back ago. And I went and showed a house for my wife. And I didn't have an MLS sheet or anything, any information. And I said, well, how much is this house? I texted my wife and she goes, you dummy, pull up your mobile app. You're standing in the house. It's going to pull up that house. Okay. And so there's so many different ways you can use this. You know, when you're hanging out with your clients, when you're at open houses, hey, I bet you'd like to know what houses are worth in this neighborhood. Let me text you my mobile app, or here, scan my QR code. Download this mobile app. And I'll set you up on a search for everything that comes up in this neighborhood. Now you're connected. Okay. This is such a huge advantage, you guys, that other people don't have. And even if they have it, I mean, there's 350 people in this office and like 25 people actually came to check it out. So this is your advantage. Take advantage of this, you guys. It'll be a game changer for you. And then go out and text 10 people every day. And if they don't respond, follow up with them and say, hey, did you get a chance to check that out? I'd really love your feedback. And all it is engagement. You're always looking in real estate for engagement with people. That's the key. All right. Anything else?
One last thing that I want to mention. You heard Brian talk about a contest we're going to do. It's all going to be around downloads of the app. Raise your hand if you have done or will do a giveaway sometime this year for your database. Few of us, we just ran one for the Dyson hairdryer giveaway. What would it look like where if the criteria for entering the giveaway was to download the app and sign in and do a save search? Download the app, sign in, and add your home. That you're getting all of the information you need to track registrations, and you can get a crazy amount of people if you give them the incentive, win a $250 Home Depot gift card, enter to win a $250 Home Depot gift card. How do you enter? Download my app at this link, sign in with your information, create a safe search. Call me if you need help.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Hundreds of people will be added to your app within weeks. People you didn't have in your database. And guess what happens when they sign in and they're not in your database? What happens? Command creates the contact for you. Now you have name, phone number, and email address, or name and email address at the very least, for all of these people now that you can see their activity on their app that they're doing, and you have hundreds of people now in your app. So that's your bonus for being here today and being with us today, because we'll run this for everybody who wants to participate in downloading, getting the biggest app downloads. But if you want to cheat the system, do a giveaway around it. Spend $200 on a gift card or some other thing that you can post on social media 20 times over the next 2 weeks saying, hey, enter to win. All you have to do, download my app, sign in, do a safe search, or whatever you want them to do in the app. Safe search is more buyer focused. Saving their home address would be more seller focused, or you could give them the option. Just don't make it too complicated, because people will quit before they get there if you make it too complicated. But today we showed you how to share your app, your links in the Command app, your link inside of Command. We showed you why people love the app and all the different features within it as the consumer sees them. And we showed you what all tracking looks like within there. And if you have any other questions about the app, about sharing the app, or anything else here, now is your time to ask.
What kind of questions you guys have?
I just have a question for you. It's a technical one, Stephen. So is to log into my app, is it the same as my Command password?
Which app?
The KW consumer.
The consumer app? No. There is no agent login for the consumer app. Whenever you log into the consumer app, you are logging in as a consumer.
When I log
But
into
you can-
consumer, Dina pulled up as my agent.
Because at some point, you have already engaged with Dina's link or app.
Yeah.
So it saves that previous information in and resets it. If that happens to you, come talk to me. It's a 5-minute fix.
Well, actually, yeah, like, pull that up. Let me show you. So
There is a
You
feature.
want to pull
there
up your
to
phone?
change it.
yeah, that is possible. Okay. Okay, so here's
Hold on,
the,
hold on. Now you're in.
okay. Actually, I gotta go back here. Where's the sign out? Oh, it's over here, right?
I think you have to hit the gear and then you can log out.
See this, delete account. Okay, so if I delete this account here, then I can actually sign in and register with a different agent. Okay, so I would just hit delete account. And now I'm not connected to Steven anymore, sorry.
I do not get notified about that.
Yeah.
That I don't know when that happens. I don't get that information.
Okay,
Yeah.
So back to the beginning, if somebody had already downloaded and if they didn't allow the notifications or location,
hold on.
how could they change that?
So that'll be in their phone's settings. So you know when you go into your settings and you have all the apps and you can go select the app you want to set settings for, you go into those settings and that's where you'll see location services and notifications, where they just have to go in and toggle those on to allow for location and notifications to come through.
Question, you said that is the QR code is supposed to be at the bottom of our website?
Mhm.
On mine, it just says download app.
Because you're on the phone. It knows you're on a phone and the QR code doesn't make sense on the phone because you're not going to take a picture from the phone. So what makes it into a button when it reads that you're on a mobile device.
Okay, what other questions?
It's smart. It's smart. Good questions. What else do y'all have? I know we had a question in the chat. I'll try and answer it, buddy. I honestly, buddy, I don't understand what you're asking. Send me an email and we can chat more. Give me a call after this and we can chat more because I'm not sure what you're referencing in the 1-by-1.
No, we talk about that later, but what I was asking was mainly, how are you guys gonna track who has more apps downloaded? Because
Oh, yeah.
some of us, we already have amount of number of downloads and.
Actually,
I mean-
Gil's in the office.
Yes. So yeah, Keel, what we're going to do is we're going to take all the numbers where they're at before this class in the last report that shows us how many downloads you've gotten. Because that's one thing the Market Center does get that y'all don't see is how many downloads you have gotten. But that's all we get. We get a number. We don't see who or how or anything like that. We just get a number of how many people have downloaded your app. That's all we get. So we're going to take that initial data of where you're at now, and then we're going to see how that changes over the next couple of weeks to determine the winner. Does that make sense, Hill?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking and clarifying that. That helped a lot.
Okay, so how many of you texted to at least 10 people? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I got 8.
8?
Hands again, sorry.
I did too. I did.
And on Zoom, hit a yes in the chat if you texted at least 10 people. So we have 8 in the room. And we got Melody, 9, Gil, 10. I think we have 10 total.
Okay, let's go, we'll go 1 to 20. I'm gonna write down a number from 1 to 20. So.
All right. So if you are on Zoom, you're going to pick a number from 1 to 20 and put it in the chat. If you're in person, we're going to grab your number live and see who gets closest. We're playing closest to the pin, not Price is Right rules, closest to the pin. I hope everybody knows.
Gil. Anybody else? 7, 18. Okay, so let's start over here. 3, 1 to 20.
Oh, 18.
Somebody already picked 18.
No, they didn't. They picked, oh, no, they did. Pick another number. They did pick 18.
Oh. 15.
Okay, that's fine. What?
15.
15?
8. On the pass.
8, 11.
7's been taken. 4.
Okay. So the number,
Wait, we have one more person over there.
Hit send. Hit send.
hurry up, it said.
Said,
What's your number? 1 to 20.
oh, someone already said 7,
Uh-huh.
2?
2. Okay, somebody said 11 and somebody said, did somebody say
15.
15? Who said 11 and who said 15? What'd you have? 11, you had 15? The number was 13, so I'll just rip this in half and you each get half. Okay, or we can double down and like, I'll pick another number between
1 and 100.
1 and 100.
It's Dina, you and Dina.
1 in 100. We're going to flip a coin. Okay, Eva goes first.
45.
45.
8.
8.
79.
Closest to the pin. Eva is going to be putting all that money right back into her team and coaching program. So, yeah, happy hour.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? You guys totally just try this. Let me know feedback wise, like what kind of responses you get. If you get something that you're unsure of, then you can call me, text me, and let me know. I'll help you out any way I can. You might get some funky responses like that one, which was, oh, this looks just like Zillow. How is this any different? The key is Zillow is sharing their data with hundreds of agents, okay? You're not going to share any data. This is just between us. And it does everything that Zillow does, and it does it better, okay? Any other questions? How do you update the details?
Beverly, great question. How do you update your app? If you're in your app and you're like, that's not my phone number, that's not the picture I want in there. All of the app is updated through your marketing profile. You all should be familiar with your marketing profile. It's really simple and easy to get to. So simple. I'm going to do it here in the next 10 seconds, showing you how to get into Command. All you do is click on your name, come down to settings, and then you'll click on connect settings. That's the trick there. Name, settings, connect settings, marketing profile, and anything in this profile is what the app is displaying. So from your headshot to your team logo, to your website and your email in here, any of that information that's showing up in the app, this is where you will go to change that information. And just make sure to hit the save button at the bottom. If you don't see the screen that you see on the screen now, you have not made any changes that will be affected. So just go in there, make sure to hit save in your marketing profile.
Any other questions? Okay, is that helpful?
Somebody said, oh my God, I love it, easy to access all the listings, they pop up, and definitely love that you can see the streets and other homes for sale.
Interesting.
People love the app. People love because they like to look for homes. They just like browsing. Put them on the save search so it just reminds them to keep browsing every week, every month, every day, whatever it is, the frequency you want. Give them what the people want. They want to look at pretty homes.
That's it.
This is where they can go look at pretty homes across the nation. And you can see all of that activity.
250 billion searches a year.
Wow.
People do
Think if
250
you
billion
took
searches on Zillow every year.
0.5% of those searches, a 0.1% of those searches into your app. If you had 100,000 people searching in your app, would it create business for you? It would. I promise you it would. I promise you will fall into business.
And as always, remember that we have a marketing department here that can create marketing material for you to be able to share your app in social media and print and however you want. Okay. All right. Anything else? right.
When is the deadline?
Yes. Now, the worldwide listings are limited. And that's not a KW thing, that's a world country thing, because international real estate doesn't work as smoothly as it does in America, as in other places. KW's on track to fix that. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for rocking with me. If you are on YouTube, we hope you found this video valuable. Contact me if you need anything at all.